Hi everyone, welcome to the Data Explorer video series. Today, we're looking at how the pandemic impacted labor force participation for different age groups. This chart, created using our Data Explorer, shows the labor force participation rate, which is the fraction of the population ages 16 and older, who are either working or actively looking for work. Let's start at the beginning of 2020. As the sharp drop in the blue line shows, a large fraction of people left the labor force in March and April 2020. Many returned in May and June 2020, and since then, the participation rate has risen steadily but more slowly. To dig further into the dynamics of participation during the pandemic, let's break it down by age. In the option box to the left, we can remove the overall line. Using the legend, we can also remove people ages 16 to 24, as many are still in school rather than working. This chart compares people ages 25 to 54, known as prime age workers, and those ages 55 and older, who are typically closer to retirement. The large gap between the lines shows that the portion of each group that is working is clearly very different. But how have these rates evolved relative to before the pandemic? We can check this by setting both series to equal 100 at the beginning of 2020, using the index to base date option. Now, we can see that labor force participation for prime age workers has returned close to its pre-pandemic level, whereas participation for those ages 55 and older has not fully recovered. Looking more closely, while both groups had similar drops at the start of the pandemic, the older worker group lagged a bit in returning to work. The groups diverged even more in September 2020. While prime age workers gradually returned to the workforce, more older workers dropped out through 2021. This suggests that the pandemic intensified the differences in work decisions that people normally face at different stages of life. Check out the Data Explorer for more insights on how labor force participation has evolved since the pandemic for different demographic groups.